credit to him. Go check it out on 3 Sports and by our friends at Hoover Toyota. I want to remind you that Boiling and Bragging is happening this weekend, benefiting Children's of Alabama, right near Odie's, and Odie's helps out with this as well. They provide some cocktails and everything going on, food close by, but Boiling and Bragging in the library yard there in the parking lot near Odie's, just that whole area of the Mountain Brook area is part of Boiling and Bragging. Benefits go to Children's of Alabama. It's your chance to get to tailgating. Starting this year, go to the website Boiling, the letter N, Bragging, boilingandbragging.com and check out all the details. There is still room for you to get tickets and come enjoy the great tailgating food and the live music and the celebration of college football, all for a good cause, helping out our fine
friends. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, live. The next round is on now.
Live show now. Welcome into the next round presented by Hard Rock Bet on Sport and State. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, all the guys behind the glass. If you're new to the show, you'll meet them as we bring them into the conversation. Shador has done it, it looks like, at Cleveland. We'll talk about the winners and losers of the weekend in the NFL coming up. Bad news for one Columbia, great news for another Columbia. We'll get to that coming up in the show. One's high school, one used to steal my pennies for cassette tapes back in the 70s.
Cassette tapes?
No, actually the 80s. Yeah. The Columbia Clearinghouse.
Oh, I remember.
We'll get to that coming up. But if you've been with our show for a long, long time, TV sheets are out for week 0/1, and it's game week for college football.
I loved seeing this when I walked in today, and it was sitting right here at my spot. I was very excited about that.
And the best thing on the printed version, you get the windows. Week 0 lines up, Lance, where you get North Carolina, TCU in the early window, NC State, Virginia, San Jose State, USC, sneaky good Jack State, North Dakota State in the afternoon.
Sneaky good.
Oh, look, there are
Hawaii, Stanford.
Yeah, Stanford 5.5-point favorite right now, so you got a one possession at least on paper. The same North Dakota State 7.5, Virginia 5.5, TCU 7.5, UNLV 5.5. There should be some really good games on that Saturday. Selfishly, I wish USC was the late game because I really, really want to focus on what I believe, and I've said this for almost months now, the winner of NC State, Virginia, has kind of got a path to being that second team along with Miami in the ACC. I mean, one of the big questions, Power 4 football right now, who is the second best in the ACC? It's wide open.
What's supposed to be in Brazil, I don't know if I said it correctly.
Brazil? Is that where it's going to be?
It's going to be in Charlottesville, Virginia now. It's
makes more sense to be in Charlottesville.
It makes much more sense. Makes it tougher on NC State, too. I don't know how the Wahoos get crazy at Virginia.
Yeah, their attendance is never like amazing. I can't imagine a game that was not originally supposed to be there. I don't know if class is in session this Saturday or not.
I went to a game there, Auburn and Virginia, back in the day. I think Damian Craig was the Auburn quarterback, and it was a pretty good atmosphere. And I think it was a Thursday night?
It was a Thursday night,
yeah. Thursday night, back when ESPN had good Thursday night games on.
I thought that was when Ben Leard was the quarterback. I know there was a Thursday night against Virginia because I remember Ben getting up and looking through the ear hole on a Thursday night. I remember that specific.
That's what you remember?
I do, yeah. But I think this was Damian Craig because I think he threw a on-the-move bomb to win it for Auburn back in the day.
Weird home and home there.
I
think we're sleeping on Virginia. You know, the first 3 years under Tony Elliott, 11 total wins. Last year, 11 wins. You know, had every opportunity to get to a college football playoff, and Bo Perbula taking over at quarterback. I don't think there's going to be much of a drop from Chandler Morris. You've got more production in the Power 4 coming back for Virginia than anyone else. So I think we're sleeping a little bit on Virginia and NC State with their schedule.
And then that night game, you mentioned Memphis and UNLV there in Vegas. And that one has group of 6 playoff implications out of the gate.
I mean, Boise gets Oregon in week 1. I think the majority favorite for the group 5 rep is Boise. However, Memphis and Boise play. So if Memphis can get a win, what a tough start for Charles Huff. You got to play UNLV and Boise. But if Memphis can get the win over UNLV and then pull the shocker on Boise, Memphis is in the driver's seat for the college football playoff.
This sounds crazy. Well, I guess there's only one national champion. I would feel better if you gave me 5 options for the Group 5 than 5 options for the national championship. Because I would definitely go Boise. I would put Navy in there. I would put UNLV in there. I think I probably would put Memphis in there. I mean, what do you think would be easier? Telling me right now who that Group 6 rep is going to be, or who actually is going to win the national championship?
There used to be a show called Name That Tune.
Yep.
I feel like I could name that tune in 2 teams for the Group of 6.
Yeah. So those that didn't watch,
you said 5. I think I could do it in 2.
You go back and forth. I can name that tune in 5 notes. I can name that tune in 4 notes. And then so sooner or later you get down.
Brown saw me in a bar in Dallas. I mean, it was.
He called the song before it came on. Lance was like, I can't even remember the song now. He's like, they're going to play Into Club. And then, boom, Into Club starts. I'm like, how did you do that? I mean, the song had not started.
How did you do that?
But when you hear that first note on certain songs, you can immediately pull it.
As soon as the note hit, we both look at each other like, how did he do that?
I can't believe Jamie Foxx hosted that show, but what was it called? Was it Shazam? Something
Beat
like
Shazam.
that? Yeah.
Beat Shazam?
It's a good show.
But some of those people, same thing. I mean, you would hear one just.
So you think you can name it in 2 notes?
I think 2 teams.
2 teams.
It is Boise State. It is Navy.
See, you used to be able to do this with a national champion.
That's true.
Name it.
Exactly.
2 notes.
To your point.
Exactly.
It's gotten really difficult. I don't know. I think Navy's going to be really good. It looks like they're going to, rotate quarterbacks. They do have to play Notre Dame, but they can go 11-1, and
so
they obviously get there.
You're willing to go forward without Memphis. You're willing to go forward without sexy New Mexico.
Yes.
You're willing to go forward without
anybody in the Sun Belt
anybody
or MAC.
in the Sun Belt or MAC.
UNLV. I can go forward with all that. It's Boise State, Navy for me. Navy, I don't think will lose anywhere except Notre Dame. And 11-1, then they go to the American Conference Championship. I guess technically 10-1. They go to the American Conference Championship before they play Army. And it'll be just in the final year probably of 12 teams in the playoffs before we expand this thing, we need at least that one awkward of Navy being in the playoffs on Selection Sunday and then still having to play Army afterwards. We need that one time.
We need that just because that's college football, right?
Yeah.
How dumb is this? Well, that's college football. Oh, okay. Sorry. Forgot. It's college football.
And then Army upsets Navy?
Yeah,
yes.
I know,
Yeah, but Navy's still in the playoffs.
Does that count? No, it did not count.
That's what we need.
It would be
if the game was never
amazing
played.
if North Dakota State in year 1 makes that transition and they ended up being your Group 6. I mean, look, that's a healthy favorite against Jacksonville State. I mean,
how
team,
big is it?
7.5.
7.5. That is in Fargo Dome.
And they are eligible to be the Group of 6. They don't have to do what they did as early as last year, have to sit out a year or 2 in your transition up to Division I football. North Dakota State and Sacramento State have received the bye so they can play their way into bowl games or, if need be, into the playoffs. Sac State's playing in the MAC, I believe, this year.
Sacramento State that is correct.
Yeah, which is insane when you start looking at the MAC. I mean,
they're paying the travel for the teams to come out there and play them, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they are, but geographics don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Geographics
certainly don't.
Geography
National
doesn't matter
Geographic,
anymore,
right?
Except in the MAC until Sacramento State. It was one of the few conferences where it actually.
The MAC was still Mid-American, and then Sac State joined, and now we're not even Mid-America anymore.
Later in the show, we will look at a planet and college football and combine the 2 galaxies. That's coming up later in the show. You're watching The Next Round by Hard Rock Bet on Sport and State. Big news in college football. We had starters named at 3 SEC schools, a couple of other power conference schools, and a couple of G6 schools. Let's jump into that. First, the biggest one, the biggest playoff contender that named a starter over the weekend was Alabama and Keelon Russell getting that job over Austin Mack. Surprise level not very high. He was the guy expected. I would say instantly every Alabama fan I've seen along the way energized by this announcement.
Well, look, the most upside is Keelon Russell. I mean, we've been talking about this for the last couple of years. He seemed to be the future of Alabama football, and I think more surprising is Austin Mack keeping the competition this close. And I was talking to somebody yesterday about it, and they're like, man, I feel so bad for Austin Mack And I was like, he's still probably making 7 figures. He's got a beautiful girlfriend on campus.
Has his degree. He's graduated.
He's a snap away from playing. I mean, he could be a Matt Castle situation where, just because of his size and arm strength, maybe somebody in the NFL without him ever getting a start takes a shot at him.
Let's use this as an example, okay? If for some reason Russell goes down, Austin Mack comes in, I don't feel like Alabama's season is off the rails. Do Darian Mensah in Miami for me.
Who is their backup, Jim?
That's my point.
A team we'll talk about today where Miami's only really relevant game outside of Clemson is Notre Dame. C.J. Carr goes down. Good night. I mean, Mitchie's on to Kentucky. I mean, with the portal now, for Austin Mack to be that loyal to this coaching staff, and look, and I know he's been compensated, but for him to roll the dice and stay there is a benefit, a luxury for Alabama right now.
And
I'm sure Lane Kiffin will probably try to get him in the portal.
He'll need to sign with the Browns first.
Yes.
Listen, I believe you said that perfectly. He's been loyal to DeBoer and that coaching staff, but he's been compensated. He probably could have been compensated anywhere
and play.
So not underestimate or underplay the fact that he's been loyal. And I think that's one reason why this quarterback battle played out the way it did. We mentioned this a little bit on Friday, Brownie, but Lance, it's almost like a family member to DeBoer and
Had to be a
Grubb
hard
at this
conversation,
point, because this kid left high school early to go to Washington, declared early, had left a year of high school on the table, and then, remember, I don't think Kalen DeBoer's family, Ryan Grubb didn't come with Kalen DeBoer from Seattle. Austin Mack did, though.
You're right. And I do think for Kalen DeBoer, and just bringing up LSU again, like Lane Kiffin treats everything like a business, like, heart of darkness. On the other side, I really believe these decisions are difficult personally for a guy like Kalen DeBoer. I mean, we know him a little bit. We've gotten to know him over the last 3 years. And I do think that this is really difficult for him to sit down and tell Austin Mack, hey, we're going with Russell here.
Yeah, I mean, it had to be a difficult decision, but you weren't with us. Was it Thursday that Matt Wyatt was on? And I thought Matt Wyatt laid this out pretty well. He's like, if you're an experienced quarterback, you know the decision well before it's announced. Not because anybody's told you, but because their actions have told you. Like, I mean, basically what Matt said was Austin Mack is going to know he's not the starter before any coach ever tells him. He's like, you pick up on the cues. You just notice the other guy getting more reps. You notice they're doing things with the guy, the other guy they're not doing with you.
I believe that 99% of the time.
And I think Austin Mack, though, he's educated enough and knows this staff well enough.
I know we will get to breaking news in the NFL in a minute. I think this is the 1%, of course, with a dysfunctional franchise where you probably don't get the telltale signs.
But I think Austin Mack, before Kalen DeBoer or Ryan Grubb or Brian Ellis, whoever was the one that broke the news to him, before they had to sit him down, I would imagine Austin Mack already knew. I have lost this job to Keelon Russell. So you said Alabama fans are excited. I mean, this is going to shock you guys where I was when the news broke Saturday on the golf course. And in my foursome were 2 Bama fans and an Auburn fan. The 2 Bama fans through the roof.
It sounds like you're starting a bad joke. On the golf course, 2 Bama fans and an Auburn fan.
But I mean,
the Auburn fan actually made the announcement. He got the alert on his phone. He goes, Keelon Russell named starter at Alabama. And the Alabama fans got genuinely excited. And the Auburn fan asked me, he's like, do you think it was that close of a battle? And I said, actually, I think this shows you how much separation there was. Because I think if it was anywhere close, they might go. Let me just say it this way. If Austin Mack had any lead, they would not have gone Keelon Russell just to keep him around. I don't believe you play that way anymore in college football.
Well, a lot of people believe this would go into East Carolina.
Yeah.
And we would see these guys probably play a half each and then maybe make a decision before you go on the road in Lexington against Kentucky in week 2. I don't think a lot of teams, whether it's the NFL or college football, want to do this anymore. I think they want to have that established guy. Like, how many quarterback battles do we have going on in the Power 4 right now?
Well, we had another one settled in the SEC, but one more note, 2 of them actually in the SEC. One more note, you're looking at Keelon Russell. I know we've all heard things from camp, the people that get to see practices and maybe conversations with coaches and such. The one thing I keep hearing about Russell is when the play breaks down, when it doesn't go as scripted, he's the best at saving the play.
Well, and that's what you need with this unknown at offensive line.
I was about to say, Lance, tell me how many times last year watching Alabama did Ty Simpson have to bail them out?
Well, they gave up 32 sacks, and it probably would have been in the 40s if it wasn't for Simpson and his escapability. I saw it again this past weekend against the Saints in a play that broke down, and he's got really good footwork, and he's able to extend those plays. Russell's going to be next level because once he extends the plays, then he actually can move the chains and do some really athletic things that Alabama hasn't seen at the quarterback position. I guess you saw it with Bryce Young, but Bryce Young was just so small. You never wanted him to even be in the mix to take a hit.
I think you saw the running ability, what you're talking about, on steroids with Jalen Milroe. Not saying Milroe's on steroids. That was a bad choice of words by me.
I don't know if you guys watched last night, but the first play that broke down when Milroe was in, he took it 15 yards.
Yeah. But can Russell be a more consistent passer than Milroe? That was the thing that Alabama fans just drove them crazy about. Milroe, he could play the first half against Georgia and be the best player in America.
That's the comp, though, I keep hearing is taller, stronger Bryce Young.
I would rather have that because Bryce Young's one of the most accurate passers we've ever seen.
Yeah.
I doubt I'll need to see it to believe that his accuracy will approach Bryce Young's.
That would be shocking.
I will be shocked at that, but if that is the case, look out.
Yeah, you might have a Heisman finalist this year. I know other fan bases roll their eyes when you say that, but is it going to shock you guys at all if Keelon Russell comes in and he's one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the SEC? Wouldn't surprise me just based on the track record of Kalen DeBoer with quarterbacks. Nobody saw Ty Simpson going out performing at the level he did without an elite receiver, without a 500-plus yard running back with a shaky offensive line, and he ends up being the second quarterback selected in the first round this past May.
You see this Hard Rock Bet logo that floats around behind you here? Part of making future bets is timing. A future bet to win, I don't have the odds in front of me, future bet to win the Heisman for Keelon Russell.
I would say it's 50-1.
Would have been smarter 2 weeks ago than it probably will be right now or after the game starts.
Back when Furman told us he took he really liked that play. This was several weeks ago when Furman was like, one play I like for the Heisman is Keelon Russell. And his point was, I think he's going to win the starting job. And when are you going to get Alabama's starting quarterback at that number? At the time, I think, was it 40-1, 50-1?
Well, he was only 28-1. I don't know if this was 4 days ago, so I don't know if they had already figured in that Russell was good. I would assume that they've got him as the starter here at 28-1.
Yeah, so I think at the time Furman was talking about it was bigger than that, though, 40 or 50-1. And that was his point. Like, I think Russell's going to win the job. You may as well take a flyer now because you'll never get him at this number again.
That's right. Timing is everything. Before we take our first break today, Arkansas names KJ Jackson their starter. Tennessee goes with the young freshman, Faizon Brandon.
Yeah, I saw this on 3 reporting it this morning. This is fascinating. Like you just kept hearing from Tennessee camp that Faizon Brandon has edged ahead. I don't know. I'm trying to take myself back to the spring and how we handicapped this race. I know it was a very close race, but I don't know that I thought Brandon was going to be the winner in this race going back to the spring.
Well, the interesting thing here, Heupel's offense is, like, people don't realize how productive the offense was last year. And the 2 best Heupel teams were Hendon Hooker in 2022, where he threw 2 interceptions, and then the playoff team 2 years ago in 2024 with Nico, where he only threw 5 picks. If you can limit the turnovers with Deshaun Bishop running the football, now with Jim Knowles' defense, Tennessee could be one of the big surprise teams, but it's going to be about Brandon not turning the football over.
Yeah, that offense that Heupel runs, with that run game, if Brandon can prevent the young mistakes, early starter mistakes, and create some wow plays, that's what Tennessee had a couple of years ago when they made a playoff run.
I was looking at, for those that have not seen him, I was looking at his recruiting profile. First of all, 36 games as a starter in high school, 35-1. You love that stat. Number 2, they do a player comp, Geno Smith. That's who they compare Faizon Brandon to. The player comp, they say the guy he reminds us of, Geno Smith.
Okay, I'll take Geno Smith and Dana Holgerson's West Virginia offenses.
That's right, yeah.
And I do think that the Jets are going to be a little improved with Geno this year. He wasn't bad for The Seahawks a couple of years ago was terrible last year with that awful Raiders offensive line. Do you guys think that people realize that Heupel had the number one offense in the SEC, not only in total offense last year, but in scoring offense?
Last year?
Last year.
Yeah, Jim is surprised.
Oh, I did not know that.
I would be surprised.
yeah.
I would have said they were the number one scoring offense in the SEC last year.
Yeah.
I would have guessed Ole Miss. Would
I
you
mean,
have guessed Ole Miss?
if we were at a party right now playing a drinking game,
I could have got you on that one.
2 truths and a lie, I would have called that a lie right there.
Yeah, total offense, and they averaged right at 40 points per game, 39.7. Yeah. Number 2, Ole Miss was number 3, Brown. Do you know where number 2 was? This might surprise you as well. Quarterback is now gone.
Oh, that was not who I was going to say then. Quarterback is now gone. Who was it?
Same state. Vanderbilt.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Vandy was the number 2
Yeah.
scorer?
Yeah, it's like 2 truths and a lie.
Lance, you're on basketball. Flip back over to football.
Yeah.
Let's get back to football.
38.4 points per game last year for Pavia and that Beck offense.
LT would be like, I stole a car seat, driver's seat headrest out of an Uber.
Yes.
I have broken a bottle of vodka over a table in the VIP area.
I shot a
All
shot.
my dark drinking moments you're going to bring
I
up.
shot a shotgun through a floor.
in Tennessee, led the SEC in offense last year. That's the lie. That's the lie.
Okay,
Of course, I did live the first 2, so I knew those were true.
Less points per game in conference, Mississippi State or Alabama.
This is a setup.
By you saying it, I'm going to say Alabama.
I mean, Mississippi State 30.3 and Alabama 29.5.
Offense was not the problem.
Quick break here. The other starters into the NFL when we come back, but big news there in college football, which blends with the NFL these days. I mean, you can go to the NFL, play a couple exhibition games, and come back to college, maybe. We'll get to all that. And game day officially announced for week 3, surprising nobody, all coming up. This is the next round presented by Hard Rock Bet on Sport and State. Back with you on the next round, presented by Hard Rock Bet on Sport and State. The other starters named, Brownie. Rutgers, familiar name in the SEC for Alabama fans. Dylan Lonergan has won the Rutgers job. He was at Alabama as a backup and then Boston College as a starter, and he lost his job there. But he's going to be the QB1 at Rutgers. Another familiar name, Max Johnson, is the starting quarterback at Georgia Southern.
You're 12 for him?
He has won the starting job at times at LSU, Texas A&M, North Carolina, and now he's at Georgia Southern.
I got this morning. You guys are going to love this. And this is like the graphic of the day, and I need to send this to Scott. How about this? True stat. Max Johnson has been in college football for so long. He played for Orgeron in his last year at LSU.
Yes.
Jimbo Fisher in his last year at A&M.
Yes.
And Mac Brown in his last year at UNC. That's fact.
That's impossible. Yeah. That's impossible.
And now he's with our man Clay Helton.
Yeah. Good luck, Clay.
Yeah, Clay needs to win. It could be his last year at Georgia Southern.
That is crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. And it could have been last year for Bill Belichick at North Carolina last year, the way they performed.
Right.
They kept him around. South Florida. Michael Van Buren, who at one point started last year at LSU, is now the starter at USL.
And was at Mississippi State
before that. Yeah.
And then some guy named Billy Edwards is at North Carolina. He was at Maryland. And then had won the Wisconsin job and then got hurt before the season started last year. And he's the starter at North Carolina.
That's going to be like for the true, and this could be like a diehard college football game one day. Like if you could name every school certain players have been at. Seems impossible.
Good luck, yeah. They're all hoping that'll be a perfect 10 for them. The name says it, Perfect 10 Mortgage. You apply in 10 minutes, you close in 10 days. That is the whole idea. A mortgage that's simple, fast, and fair. 10 minutes start to finish. Right from your phone. You don't have any stack of paperwork. There's no sitting across a desk from a banker who talks down to you, and checking your options will not ding your credit score. You find out where you actually stand before you commit to anything. Date the rate, marry the house. Get the house you want right now with our friends at Perfect 10 Mortgage. Here's how you get in touch with them. Perfect10mortgage.com. That's the 10. Perfect10mortgage.com. Or call 855-789-1010. That's perfect10mortgage.com or 855-789-1010. Perfect 10 Mortgage. They are in pursuit of a more perfect mortgage for you. Perfect 10 Mortgage, DBA or Network Funding LP, NMLS 2297, Equal Housing Lender. All borrowers must qualify. This advertisement is not a promise to make a loan. Perfect 10 Mortgage, perfect10mortgage.com.
Coming up next segment, fifth grade science and college football combined with a little Big Bang Theory. That's coming up in our next segment, something Lance brought to the table. Right here, though, winners and losers over the NFL weekend. Week 2 of the exhibition season. And in Cleveland fans were booing Deshaun Watson nonstop. Basically, like he was the visiting basketball guard who had transferred away from him. Every time he touched the ball, they were booing. And it looks like Shedeur Sanders has won that job in Cleveland.
Not so fast. I mean, this is crazy. Sadly, I watched that game in the pool this past weekend because I had the Browns.
That is pretty sad, yes.
I had the Browns minus the points. I was hoping because of the quarterback competition, both quarterbacks would play well. It got so bad in the first half when Shedeur was in there. There was a pass interference that kept the drive going where it would have been fourth down where they would have kicked the field goal. I didn't want the pass interference because I wanted the field goal. Of course, the next play he throws an interception.
Yes,
that's how bad the quarterback play was, and Deshaun was just as bad. But Deshaun comes out and talks about like how off-putting the crowd is booing him. And the last time he was on the field in 2024 when he tore his ACL, they booed him. They're booing because you have held this organization hostage.
You have
$200+ million.
The fans hate him, and I think he hates the fans. You watch that post-game news conference.
He said this fan base,
and I think the question essentially was, they're booing you because you're playing poorly, but if you felt sporty, and he basically said, you mean like when they were cheering when I tore my ACL? That kind of support? I mean, he hates that fan base, and they hate him. This is as bad a quarterback situation as you can get.
This shows you how bad the Browns organization is, how dysfunctional it is. Because Todd Monken in year one, you can't go with Deshaun Watson. Like, Deshaun Watson probably is the better of the two options, but it is very, very close if you watch 2 preseason games. And to now have your starting quarterback, at least they're on the road against Jacksonville in week 1, to basically be calling out your fan base. Like, it's going to be impossible for these proud Cleveland fans, and I say that, and I'm being in all seriousness. I mean, it is a proud fan base that just doesn't get results. But for them to have to go out there and try to cheer for Deshaun now after this division, I just don't get it. I thought there was a better chance Deshaun Watson wouldn't be a Cleveland Brown this week. I mean, I guess there's not much you can do with him because you've got to pay him anyway, and nobody else is going to pick this up. But for him to be the starting quarterback, it just blows me away. But it shows you how bad Shedeur is, too.
Yeah, it shows you how bad I am at picking things. I thought Deshaun Watson was going to win the starting job. And then I saw the highlights from the game. I didn't watch the game, but I saw the highlights from the game and the booing and stuff, and I was like, well, you can't play him.
Oh, I would have said that if the press conference, and you shouldn't base it on a press conference, that maybe you lean Deshaun just because you're paying him all this money. He does have the experience, maybe a little more upside still if he could capture some of the magic. But after he went on the podium, I don't know how you can name him starting quarterback. I think our man, Dan Orlovsky's talking about the same thing right now, like how Munkin would do this.
Hey, guys.
Huh?
Deshaun Watson was just named starter.
Yeah,
Oh,
and that's what Orlovsky's talking about.
Oh, just named the starting quarterback. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that gives the fans something to do during the game then.
Boo?
They can boo.
Yeah.
You can't boo your starter, right?
Oh, yeah, you
yeah,
can.
yeah, you can.
They were already doing it in the preseason. They were getting their reps in.
If there's ever a city that you boo your starter, it's Cleveland.
Or Philadelphia.
Yeah. Or New York. I mean, there's actually a
Or
handful.
New York, yeah.
But let me ask you
Especially more
this.
than that.
Let me ask you this, because I've got the colors of my Super Bowl champion pick on today.
Oh, no. Don't do this to Lane.
Landmine LT.
Please don't do this.
California is finally going to fall into that sinkhole. Just the fault line is going to split.
It's going to float right away, Tyler.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
the
gone.
Naval Academy took one today. They literally took their first torpedo since when?
Oh, come on, guys. I'm not landmining Lance. The Chargers.
Oh, okay, good.
That ain't the Chargers college, by the way.
Yeah. I was waiting. I've lost $1 to Bo, our president up here, because I was like, God, give me that Rams hat we have in our next round store, nextround.store. Because Lance will say something on the air before I have to bring it up. So I have a different one to throw on here if you need me to throw it on.
Are they your actual?
You a high school recruit? How many different hats you got under there?
Make your pick today.
Well,
Set him on the table, Jim.
Oh, there's his NFC pick. He's going to the Giants.
That's the Bills, right?
Is that the Bills?
Yeah, I mean, you got a little red in there.
Bills v. Rams?
Texans. Could be the Texans.
Could be the Texans.
yeah, the Texans are my AFC pick. Though,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You
But
got
I do
AFC
think the
and
Rams
NFC.
win the Super Bowl. But if you're the Rams, seriously, Ty Simpson has looked good. Stetson Bennett has looked good. Why not? Cleveland would be better off with Stetson Bennett as the starting quarterback than they would with Shedeur Sanders, in my opinion.
Well, the Rams, if they're smart, and watching again this weekend, I watched every rep from both of those guys. Stetson outplayed Ty Simpson. Ty was better last week. Stetson was better this week. Stetson's got more experience. He needs to be the number 2. I fully expect him to be the number 2. There were people out there, Stetson will probably get cut. If he got cut, he's going to get picked up. Whether it was
probably by Cleveland.
maybe Cleveland, maybe Arizona in division. Who knows?
Is there anything in Cleveland you guys would want for Stetson Bennett, a guy who could be
Yeah,
your
we'll take
QB3?
Jared Verse back.
Yeah.
We've already had him.
If only I was the Cleveland
I mean,
GM.
here's the thing. Like, I mean, the Rams have got to prepare that this is for sure Stafford's last season. I believe it is. And then you've got 2 quarterbacks that I think can be starting quarterbacks in the NFL. I've seen some really good stuff from Ty this preseason. I've seen some really good stuff the last 2 preseasons from Stetson Bennett.
So you hold them both.
I hold them both. And look, and now you've got to have 3 quarterbacks on the 53. I mean, it's an NFL rule now.
But the guys behind the glass, if you're new with us on the next round, presented by Hard Rock Bet here on Sport and State, behind the glass is Tyler here. He runs the board. Brooks back there, he's our social media guy. I don't have y'all's official titles. I'm sorry.
We'll get back to that.
And then Forrester is a Falcons fan. This was a big topic in Atlanta over the weekend. Sports Talk was bring Stetson Bennett home after he had the great performance. The Falcons should go out and get Stetson Bennett as the quarterback of the future for the Falcons, not Tua, not Penix.
I mean, I don't think he could be any worse than what that QB situation is right now.
Yeah, I really, Scott, thought, listen, I've watched Tua as a Dolphins fan forever. I really thought it would be a good reset for him. And I thought you guys were the favorite in the South when he went and got Tua. I thought Neither one of them are great, but they're both good enough with the other weapons. And having watched Tua in the preseason, he's cooked.
Jack Strand.
He's done, isn't he?
Jack Strand. Did you watch this weekend? Minnesota Moorhead, the undrafted free agent, 6'5", 240-pound quarterback. Jack Strand is going to be the guy for the Falcons.
You think
I
so?
say that jokingly.
Didn't they play Cooper Rush?
Yeah, but Jack Strand outplayed all of them.
I mean, Scott, don't you believe Tua's cooked? I mean, he cannot throw the ball down the field.
Oh, did you guys see the clip from the OTAs? With
the joint practice with the Colts.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah, he cannot throw the ball down the field.
Yeah,
and
in the first exhibition game, it was negative 0.2 yards airtime.
And you cannot dink and dunk in the NFL. I mean, you could manage that somehow in college, a dink and dunk offense. You cannot do it in the NFL.
I really thought we were past the point. You guys remember when, the NFL, when it still had some parity, but there were only 8 to 10 really, really good quarterbacks, and 8 to 10 organizations had really, really bad quarterback play. I thought we were past that. I thought the worst of the quarterback play, would be a guy like Daniel Jones that's getting a second start in Indianapolis, who was pretty good at times. I just thought quarterbacks are so specialized today that I thought that almost all 32 teams would have a capable guy, but this is looking like the NFL 10 years ago.
I could see that. But you got, the 49ers occasionally, Purdy and Mac Jones both could be okay starters in the league. I think you got a couple with the Rams.
But then you got a situation in Pittsburgh. I know you got a Hall of Famer there, but you're number 2, Mason Rudolph. You don't have good quarterback options right now in Pittsburgh. Obviously, you don't with the Cleveland Browns. I don't know if you do with the Tennessee Titans, like Cam Ward. He does not have a completion to their number 1 overall pick, Cornell Tate. The reason they've been playing him in the preseason is to get more reps, but to build rapport with a first-round guy that doesn't even have a reception yet.
Struggling out of the gate, for sure. Good-looking new uniforms, though.
No, they do look good.
In Nashville with the Titans there. Kirk Cousins, I don't know if they've officially named him yet, but he's going to be the starter with the Raiders. But coming out of the weekend, Jeanty's banged up again.
Good news, though.
Start to worry about him injury-wise.
When you see teammates take a knee and start praying around a player getting caught up,
so scary.
Then you start thinking that maybe they heard something, maybe he said something, but reports now out of Vegas. And the good news is you've got a really, really good number 2 out of Arkansas that has been playing his ass off in the preseason. But the news right now for Jeanty is it's just a sprained ankle. Now, we don't know what grade sprain it is, but I would fully expect him week 1.
A sprained ankle.
Mike Washington's that rookie.
I'm not diminishing the act of prayer. Don't hear me say that. But a sprained ankle is not something you take a knee and pray over.
No.
You take a knee and pray over a guy that completely blew his knee up or his bone sticking out of his leg or something like that. When you see guys taking a knee and praying, you're like, there must have been a bone protruding, something like that. Sprained ankle, after that, you thank God that it was only a sprained ankle, right? Hella way worse.
I know you texted us and didn't get a response about Mendoza last week.
I wasn't watching.
I totally jinxed that.
But, the pick 6 over the weekend.
You mean right after Troy Aikman said he looked a lot like Peyton Manning in his first start?
I do think Mendoza is going to be really good, though.
I do, too.
You've always liked him.
Too. You guys, I hope, are familiar with the Bermuda Triangle. We've talked about it many times on this show. The Bermuda Triangle in the NFL is the right tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs. Whoever they put there is horrible. And the guy that's there now, Jalen Moore, 2-year, $30 million contract, and he is listed at Bleacher Report as a big loser of the weekend. He was supposed to be the probable right starter at tackle, but just not having – They have guys that jump off sides. They can't block. The reason Patrick Mahomes is closer to retirement than winning another Super Bowl maybe is because of their right tackle play.
Well, and I'm still not buying the Chiefs. I think the division continues to get more and more difficult. Mike McDaniel taking over the offense for the Chargers. I think they're going to be better this year. Denver, we saw the improvement last year. The Raiders now with much improved quarterback play and, more weapons now. I think the Raiders are going to be much better. The Chiefs, you go back to 2024 when they were 15-2, they were 10-0 in one-possession games. Last year, when they missed the playoffs, 1-9 in one-possession games.
That's the thing.
So you've seen them, they're starting to take a step back to begin with.
We talk about in the SEC a lot, one-possession games. Like, oh, they played a bunch of one-possession games. A lot of teams do. In the NFL, every team does. So that's a key stat right there. Your one-possession game stat is going to tell you whether you're in the playoffs or not.
Well, and I mean, look, age gets us all. It's starting to get Mahomes a little bit. And without those weapons. And, Mahomes 2 years ago in those one-possession games was magic. Last year, and a couple of them he didn't play because, he had torn his ACL. But you're seeing him, regress a little bit. And obviously that's going to be the whole Chiefs team if he's going backwards.
More NFL later in the second hour of the next round, presented by Hard Rock Bet on Sport and State. When we come back, we go to science class, 5th grade science class. So get ready for square pizza, grab a juice box or whatever you used to do in 5th grade. We talk science when we come back. Listen, your conference is too big if in basketball, North Carolina and North Carolina State have to play each other in a non-conference game in December. The ACC last week announcing that North Carolina and NC State have agreed for the next 2 years to play in Greensboro in December, this year, December 15th, in a non-conference game because they'll only meet once in the ACC schedule.
Silly.
Too big.
Yeah.
Too big. It didn't
what is the ACC? Is it 18 now in basketball?
I'll
tell you in a sec.
Is it 17?
It could be. Yeah, I lose track, man. I lose track.
Yeah.
Because they've got Notre Dame, remember, as an actual basketball member, but not a football member.
Yeah, but your conferences are too big if two state rivals have to play each other in a non-conference game in December.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, too big.
XXXY, the brand that launched
It's 18.
Oh, it's 18?
Yep.
The brand that launched a movement, bringing you part of the show. It was founded by Jennifer Say, the former national champion gymnast, former Levi's brand president. She walked away from a corporate job rather than say something she didn't believe, and she started her new company, XXXY Athletics. And in their words, their mission is to empower female athletes to take a stand for fair competition. So they call it the T that launched a movement. And they're also making the official Nashville Balls gear, by the way, if you want Clay Travis' future WNBA franchise gear. XXXY, the official apparel provider for the Nashville Balls.
I will tell you that logo, the only thing that bothers me is that by the play on words, the sack or the net in this case is ripped there.
Yeah, it's going to come out at some point.
That seems to be painful.
I would agree.
Hey, but one is always lower than the other.
That's right. That's accurate. Tees, trucker hats, they're out right now. If you want the shirt, that is where you get it at this website, xxxyathletics.com. That is xx-xyathletics.com. New customers get 20% off your first order when you sign up. Free shipping over $100 on anything. They've got tops, tanks, sports bras, leggings, shorts, training sets, men's and women's, hoodies, hats, graphic tees, all right there at xxxyathletics.com. That's xx-xyathletics.com.
August 24th, 2006, a big day for who or what?
Well, I mean, for geeko scientists, and they want to throw back everything we learned back in the day. And, you know, I never understood. I got in an argument with a math teacher, this new math. Like, hey, I can get to my kids' final number doing it my old way. Well, you can't do. You got to show the new work, and we've got new math. Why do we have new math? Why would we go from 9 planets to 8 planets? On this day in 2006, we decided Pluto was going to be demoted to a dwarf planet. I still recognize personally Pluto as a planet.
It's a planet in my book.
Always will be.
Yeah.
I'll always have Pluto as a planet. I mean, first of all, the way I remember the planet names, I got to have Pluto for the sentence to make sense.
Give that to us. I don't remember that. I remember Roy G. Biv if we're doing the
red, orange, yellow, green, Roy G.
Blue,
Biv.
indigo, violet.
I don't remember where it was.
Did you put Uranus in that sentence?
Uranus is in this one. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, give it to us.
My very educated mother served us 9 pickles.
Never heard that before. That was a Calhoun County thing, probably.
You're missing Jupiter.
My very educated mother just served us 9 pickles.
There you go.
Thanks, Tyler. Been a minute since I've done it. That was Calhoun County, Alabama.
Did it?
Huh?
Or did it? Since I've done it?
Since I've done it?
Yeah.
You know,
you missed it last week. He called it the Big Tan.
The Big Tan.
I've never understood why we have so many surveys. You know, when we do research on...
We would have Family Feud. We would not have Family Feud if it wasn't for surveys.
But, you know,
doesn't work if you only ask 50 people.
That's true. You got to ask 100.
We go back and we research some stupid stuff, and for people to be like, it's too small, it's too dark, it's too cold.
Well, it's because it doesn't orbit the sun.
Okay.
What is it
small
orbit?
Did they not know that shit before?
How does it not orbit the sun?
It's not floating around, not going anywhere.
Yeah. So Pluto just sits still?
So, to be considered a planet, it requires the object to orbit the sun, be round from its own gravity, and have cleared its neighborhood of other space rocks. Pluto fails the third rule because it shares the orbit with many icy bodies in the Kuiper Belt.
Okay, well, who dropped the ball on this originally to make Pluto the 9th planet?
Well, they updated the definition of a planet.
Yeah, that's what
they changed the definition.
The old Kuiper Belt.
Yeah. I don't want to go Nashville Balls here, but we don't need to be changing definitions.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's keep it.
So let's do this.
Okay.
Let's do this. This is a Lance topic here, but Lance says, since Pluto on this date was demoted from being a planet, let's take one Power 4 football program and demote it from being a Power 4 football program. Start us off.
I am going to go, first of all, I've never been to this place. I have been to this state. Some people that are from there, and they're the only ones that will tell you it's an underrated state, but Piscataway, New Jersey. I'm going with the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
God, you're going to piss off a good friend of yours.
That was why I had dinner with her last night.
Yeah.
Former gymnast at Rutgers, Lauren Sisler, now with ESPN.
Yeah, she's an awesome person.
Had dinner with her last night. She'd be gutted that she was even talking about Rutgers at dinner last night.
Okay, well, we will remove Lauren from this conversation, but 156 years of Scarlet Knight football. They've only been to 11 bowl games. You know how easy it is to get to a bowl game? 11 bowl games. They've only had 2 10-win seasons in 156 years. How many first-round draft picks do you think they've had in their 156 years? Now,
0.
They have 3.
3.
But, I mean, Ohio State tops that every single year.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
Just first rounders from Miami last year.
16 losing seasons over their last 25 seasons of football. Nobody would miss them. They were at one time not a Power 4. They don't deserve to be a Power 4 now. Schiano doesn't have a bad product right now. I mean, they're kind of middling, but it's just traditionally, historically, they've been terrible.
Could I watch college football if Rutgers weren't in it? Absolutely, I could.
For me, it's going to be a school that I think no longer can clear itself of space rocks, and it's struggling to keep its own orbit in the Big Ten. I'm going with Purdue. Purdue has a lot of history, a lot of bowl games, Drew Brees, Gary Danielson, but Jeff Brom's not walking through that door anymore. They haven't won a Big Ten game in 2 years. The Big Ten, were they in the Big Ten East, West, Legends, Leaders?
They were
the West.
Yeah, they were in the West. They
Yeah.
won it randomly one year and got demolished by
So-
Michigan. In the
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I think it has left. The Big Ten has left Purdue behind. That's who I would kick down.
But you know they got a new AD.
they're
And
there to win championships.
That's
now.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana.
Yeah, the national champion.
And I would also tell you P is for Pluto, so I thought it worked for this segment. And it would help my basketball bracket every year in March, too, if Purdue wasn't in it, because I buy into them way too much. It cost me so many
I mean,
March
if I
Madness
just saw
brackets.
that, I would think Princeton based on
I
the
would
P.
too, yeah.
Okay. Yep. I did it quickly. I literally said, we're not drawing logos.
Well, I mean, you can't even read mine. My writing's so bad. I had to run to the bathroom.
By the way, our new dry erase boards were supposed to be here today.
Hey, what happened? I thought you were getting them.
Oh, I thought you were shipping them.
No, I thought Bo was shipping them.
Okay, so it went from my fault to
It
Bo's
appears
fault.
like they're not on the way at all.
Yes, I'm going to say those have not even been ordered.
We have new dry erase boards by our first Sport and State official show.
Do have a staple still, don't we? Or
Well, I thought that's
Office
where Bo
Max?
was getting them. Yeah. Yeah, I'll follow up on that
Okay.
after the show.
Yeah.
My team, like Tyler explained, has been in orbit before, but they can't stay in orbit, and that's why I'm kicking them out. Now, I want to keep them in basketball. I didn't know I was having to kick them out of basketball, too. Is that the thing? I thought we were only
just
kicking them out of
football.
football.
Just
Just football. That's it.
Yeah. Mine is Kansas, the Jayhawks. Now, Kansas at times, they've gotten into orbit. The big man Geno had them in an Orange Bowl. They played the Missouri Tigers for the Big 12 championship, and that was a 1 versus 2 matchup one year.
It was 1 versus 2 to see who would actually go and play Oklahoma.
And get killed by Oklahoma.
Missouri ended up being the number one team after that game, but that was Todd Reesing. That was a really, really good Kansas team. And Lance Leipold, he was like the new hot coach a couple of years ago. Now he's on the hot seat.
Now he's on the hot seat. That's right. They can't stay in orbit. Kansas cannot stay in orbit.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2-0 in the preseason because of Kansas quarterback
Jalen
Jalen Daniels.
Yeah.
And I was about
our
to
ones
say,
and twos can beat nobody, but when we put the threes in, we're winning.
dude, he has been really, really good. Undrafted free agent for Tampa Bay. I will make a prediction he will at least start one game because Baker will not make it a full 17.
Is he the
backup?
He's going to be our 2?
They don't even know if he's going to make the roster.
Yeah, I had him as our 3. All right, that's our Pluto demotion. When we come back on the next round, presented by Hard Rock Bet here on Sport and State, 2 Columbias that had a good and a bad weekend. One of them is an amazing story, and the other one used to steal my pennies. All that's coming up here on the next round, presented by Hard Rock Bet on Sport and State. enter the next round presented by Hard Rock Bet on Sport and State. LTD and B here with you. Over the weekend, you don't like country music, right?
I mean, look,
You're growing to enjoy some of it.
No, I in the 90s, I listened a little bit just because, around people that were listening to it a lot. I mean, I respect, it's a weird genre because you hear a guy like Morgan Wallen, he doesn't sound like he can sing, but I mean, the guy sells out every freaking stadium he plays.
Brown went to see a 90s cover band over the weekend,
Straight tequila nights, yeah.
According to his wife's social media feed.
Yeah,
When I did Uber a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned them.
That's right.
So they started following me.
That's right. The mention got to them, but Lance drove past Iron City, mentioned they're coming. I said, I think Jennifer got tickets for that. They started following us on social media. It got back to them that we mentioned them on that random show that we were doing.
Did they
on
hook you up
Friday
with tickets?
No, I didn't ask for that. I mean, tickets are fairly inexpensive. But I went to see them. They were really, really good. 2.5 hours they played.
Luke Bryan is a current country music star.
Yeah, this is what I don't understand. Like this guy, like how people pay to see this guy perform.
Well, I wanted to say thanks for Luke Bryan just tweeted enjoying for Sport and State in this next round show. I'm kidding.
Love you, Luke.
He has a song called Play It Again, which I really enjoyed. Luke's son, Bo Bryan, is now the quarterback at Battleground High School, which I think is in Franklin or near Franklin, Tennessee. Okay. He is the starting quarterback, went on the road down in Mobile this past week against Philip Rivers' coach St. Michael's team, and Bo Bryan, Luke Bryan's son, led Battleground to a 41-18 win over Philip Rivers' St. Michael's team, a good old-fashioned ass whooping.
Yeah, that is.
Do you have his numbers?
Yeah, what were his numbers?
I don't have his numbers in front of me.
I'll see if I can find them.
I saw the highlights on SportsCenter, and it was touchdown, 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 touchdown.
Damn, there was a time when we were doing a show together that Nashville football wasn't that good.
I know.
And it seems like, it is really accelerated. I'm sure you guys saw the highlight from the Quebec, the Montreal running back that is signed with Tennessee.
David Gabriel Georges of Baylor High School in Chattanooga.
I have Luke Bryan's son's numbers.
Yeah, his first half was crazy. 10 of 15, 216, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. He wound up going for 375 and 3 touchdowns.
I mean, he scorched them in the first half.
What year is he?
I don't know.
I mean, is he a prospect?
Senior season.
It doesn't sound like it.
But it's not the best high school story of the weekend. Columbia High School in Huntsville, Alabama, named after the Columbia Space Shuttle, is what the school is named after.
Damn, that's
tough.
Had lost 101 consecutive games in high school football.
I think I would have switched the name at this point.
Too, yeah, maybe
Sammy Coates, former Auburn wide receiver for the Auburn Tigers in the SEC. Sammy Coates is their coach. And they won the game over the weekend, breaking a 101-game win streak. You see the celebration there. October of 2015 is the last time they won a high school football game.
Yeah, we originate out of Birmingham. You probably remember this story. John Carroll went like 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons. It wasn't to this degree, but I think it was like 50 or 60 games. That is amazing that you can make it triple digits.
October of what year?
October of 2015. And Sammy Coates has went in there and got some athletes and turned them around, and they got the win. They're off to a 1-0 start. Celebration was unbelievable. He was a dog of a player at Auburn, a wide receiver, played a little bit in the league, in the NFL.
To put that in perspective, Jake Coker had just won the starting job at Alabama, basically.
Wow. Here's what jumps out at me. They had not won a game, as I watched that video, since 2015. How many kids they've got out for football? I mean, that's a heck of a sales job by Sammy Coates.
Yeah, because until Sammy Coates gets there, you are coming in and I'm not going to play football. I'll play baseball and basketball. I'm not going to be on a losing football team.
Why do I want to go sweat it out all summer long just to lose 10 games and not go to the playoffs?
I bring it up because Columbia finally wins again on the weekend that it's announced that Columbia Clearinghouse will go out of business on September the 9th. They're closing their doors. 71 years of offering vinyl, cassettes, then CDs. At one point, they had 16 million subscribers to Columbia Clearinghouse.
It was basically a pyramid scheme for a corporation that just took people's money, gave people bad credit. They finally figured out there's not enough Dunaways in the world to dupe. Like, people
I did
know
it twice.
about this bad brand. You did it twice?
Twice,
I've never heard of anybody that did it twice.
I did it
Did
twice.
the door-to-door knife salesman ever get you?
Yeah.
I did it once with cassettes and once when CDs were out.
So maybe it'll be different
yeah.
this time. New
Most
technology.
of this, when I lost to a bookie, my Toyota Tercel and my CDs and my stereo, most of the CDs they took were Columbia Clearinghouse CDs. They cost me 13 CDs for 13 cents.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad they're out of business.
They are out of business on September the 9th. When we come back, Tom Luginbill joins the show. He will talk with us about college football, some starting quarterbacks named. This guy knows his stuff when it comes to talent evaluation, especially that position. Luginbill is on the other side here on the next round, presented by Hard Rock Bet on Sport and State.
Make sure you stop by around 4:40, 4:42, so that'll be go down. Yeah, all right.
Back with you, hour number 2 of Sport and State, presented by Hard Rock Bet. This is the next round. Our first official guest on this side of the platform was a guest of ours way back in the day.
That's right. ESPN's Tom Luginbill. You'll see him throughout the college football season, stadiums near you. Luginbill has been joining us for years, talking a little college football all the time. Lugs, welcome in, man. How are you? Tyler, he doesn't hear us. You've got to unmute it. You muted us to him. Tyler, there you go. Thank you, Lugs. What is up? How are you?
Oh, so you guys turned my volume up finally?
We finally did, yes. We did not want you to hear us talking about you in the break.
How you guys doing?
Good, buddy. Let's start with some of the quarterbacks that have been named over the weekend, and we'll start with Alabama, Keelon Russell. You've watched Keelon Russell play. He was a Gatorade Player of the Year. You evaluated his high school film.
Yeah.
What does he bring to Alabama that maybe some I hate to do the comps, but, Alabama fans are like, who does he look like? What does he bring to Alabama's offense?
Well, first off, I think the number one thing he's going to bring is preparedness and work ethic. It's the best prepared quarterback we've had at the Under Armour All-America game in probably 15 years. Just tireless worker, loves the game, loves to study the game. So I think it's probably a big portion of what won him the job, and it's probably one of the reasons why the learning curve will be a little less steep than maybe it is for some others. But to me, it's just the overall consistent accuracy, the ability to push the ball downfield vertically, and just that kind of natural pocket feel for how to extend plays when things aren't perfect, and as I said before with you guys, and I've been through this myself personally, and I've coached it as well. Those quarterback battles, everything is charted, man. Like every single thing is documented. And to win one of those, like you gotta number one, you gotta be better than the other guy. You gotta show it consistently day in and day out. But then I think the other thing too that's really important to note is that the coaching staff has to get a real feel for the locker room, get a feel for who is the team responding to. And I think Keelon Russell won the team.
Luginbill, these guys were shocked when I said earlier in the show that Tennessee had not only the number one overall offense, but also the number one scoring offense in the SEC. Faizon Brandon is going to be the guy for Heupel. We know these Heupel offenses are exciting. What does Brandon bring? And when you look at a Jim Knowles defense with Deshaun Bishop coming back, 1,000+ yard rusher, could this Tennessee team surprise this year?
I think it could, depending upon how fast Faizon Brandon grows up, what he can handle. Do they spoon feed him early on? Do they just take the handcuffs off and say, "All right, man, you're free to go. Let's roll with this thing." And can he minimize mistakes? I think the other thing with young quarterbacks as well is obviously he's very talented, was recruited by everybody, clearly showed that he can be trusted with the offense if you're going to win that job and you're that age and you have that little experience. But young quarterbacks got to not only manage the game, they got to manage their emotions, because it can be very easy to get caught up in the highs and caught down in the lows. And there will be speed bumps. There will be some potholes along the way. How does he handle those things? What's his maturity level like? Those first couple of 2 to 3 weeks, I got to go to Atlanta to play Georgia Tech, on the road. I think it'll be interesting. Offensively, the scheme is tried and true, whether it's been UCF, whether it's been Missouri, whether it's been Oklahoma, whether it's been Tennessee. That offense or various versions of it have been great for the college game, and I think they're very, very quarterback friendly. I would not anticipate that they're going to do a lot of full field read progression stuff. I would anticipate that early on you're going to get a lot of half field reads, simplify things pre-snap, and rely on that run game. If that run game gets rolling, and Tennessee loves to spread you out horizontally and really make that box thin, take some pressure off the quarterback, I think they have a chance by season's end to be pretty damn good.
Do you expect Auburn's offense to look a little like that with Alex Golish there now?
I would expect a play about every 13 seconds. That was last year. That was by far the fastest operating offense. I saw him twice on a Thursday night, and when that thing gets rolling, it is difficult to work with defensively. And the quarterback is such a freight train, and things don't have to be perfect for him. So he can make what looks like a potential negative play and turn it into a positive one. And so they'll be fast. They'll be faster than Tennessee in terms of their operation. And that's, not speaking lightly.
Okay, Tom Luginbill, you originate from North Carolina all these years for us. North Carolina starts this weekend in week 0 against TCU. Give me the temperature of Carolina fans with Bill Belichick year 2 now. Are you starting to get the sense they're ready to move on?
Well, I think this offseason didn't help, with, the most recent, Mike Lombardi stuff. And, there's just a lot of distractions for a coach who built his entire career on not having distractions, having one focal point. All it's been is distractions since he arrived there. And, the players weren't good enough a year ago. They weren't talented enough. They had one of the most forgiving schedules that any first-year coach could have ever been given. And then this year, it's the exact opposite. I love the addition of Bobby Petrino. I can't imagine what it must be like to have to go to work every day when your head coach is Bill Belichick and Bobby Petrino. I don't think there's a lot of smiles in that office. So I expect the offense to be better. The question is, how much better are they at quarterback? Billy Edwards has been hurt, often hurt, everywhere he's been, going all the way back to Wake Forest when Dave Clawson recruited him, then to Maryland, then to Wisconsin last year. I don't know how much better their roster is, guys. And I think that patience is waning very, very thin. And, and I kind of felt this thing's either going to work or it's going to be a colossal disaster when it was announced. And I didn't think there'd be any in between there. And I think it's kind of trending towards the colossal disaster part now.
It certainly seems that way. There has been very little positive come out of there. And now they got to go on the field and do it, as you said, against a difficult schedule. Tom Luginbill is with us, ESPN. Another new coach in a new place just named his quarterback today. According to reports, Aaron Philo has won the job at Florida for John Summerall. I think a lot of people look at the Florida roster and say it's not that far off if they can get quarterback right. Aaron Philo, we've seen him at Georgia Tech. How does he fit in with Summerall's system, and is that getting quarterback right? Like, is that a high enough level quarterback that you think Florida could potentially be some type of surprise team in the SEC?
Yeah, I think so. And, you got to tie that to Buster Faulkner, obviously, the offensive coordinator Coach Summerall brought down from Georgia Tech. Understand 2 years ago when Haynes King was returning, I believe the number out there to retain Aaron Philo at Tech to be a backup was around $1 million, right? So obviously they felt he was an important piece of the puzzle for their future. And then Faulkner takes the OC job at Florida and clearly brings Aaron Philo with him. And I think the expectation was that I know this guy, he knows me, he knows our system inside and out. He gives us a leg up. Obviously, you have a natural quarterback competition, as most places do every fall. But I would have been surprised if he wasn't named the starter. I think Florida's got better players than people think they do. You just said something, though, Ryan, that is true everywhere. If you get the quarterback position right, it seems to solve all the other problems. It's kind of funny how that works.
Yeah, I would agree.
And that's something that Florida has struggled with in recent years.
Luginbill, you are part of the ACC network, and I think one of the more legitimate questions in the ACC is who is that second best team behind Miami. And this weekend, week 0, we get NC State, Virginia. I've been hyping both of these teams up. Not only, what you've got at the quarterback position for both, but the production coming back on the Virginia side after an 11-win season, the schedule for NC State. What a fun game this weekend in Charlottesville.
Yeah, and it's actually a conference game this time around. So good for the ACC on getting that one right. Listen, let's start with Virginia because they for 2 years in a row, you mentioned NC State's schedule, and you are right. It is a schedule set up for a dark horse college football playoff run. And Virginia for 2 years in a row now has had a similar schedule. Very, very forgiving schedule. The thing that Virginia did such a good job with a year ago is every single portal guy they brought in that needed to pan out, they all panned out. They hit on all of them. I mean, the running back, Jamari Taylor, was just unheralded and fantastic. Obviously, Chandler Morris. They do have a lot of returning components. So the question now is, can they do that again? Can they replicate their additions in the transfer portal to perform at such a high level? And can Bo Pribula, who is uber talented physically, can he stay healthy as well? Because he's had a bit of a track record of not being able to do so. I think NC State, if we're having ACC conversations about who's the team behind Miami, I think it probably starts with some combination of NC State, Louisville, and SMU. But that quarterback at NC State is really, really special. And even though they lost Hollywood Smothers to Texas, Duke Scott is a load of a tailback. I think they're going to run the ball more effectively. Two things have to happen for NC State to get a 10-plus win season. They got to get off the field on third down, and they got to limit their explosive plays given up on defense. Those were two things that haunted that defense a year ago. But offensively, they could be as good as they've been, maybe top what they've been the last 2 years. And having the familiarity of a returning 3-year starter at quarterback, which is becoming increasingly rare now in college football, gives them huge advantages. I actually like NC State in this game. But I agree. I think this is going to be a great football game on Saturday.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like NC State. C.J. Bailey at quarterback is the reason why. Come on, dude. They did not lose Smothers to Texas. They lost him to Alabama. Alabama then lost him to Texas.
I know where he ended up.
Yeah. Come on now. Come on. Hey, Memphis and UNLV. Why is Dan Mullen working at UNLV, like not working, having a job? Why is it successful at UNLV now for him after 1 year? And can he really win with Jackson Arnold? They play 9 o'clock Central, 10 Eastern on Fox on Saturday night. That's a great G6 playoff contender game.
Yeah.
Why is Dan Mullen working in the desert?
Well, number one, I think he inherited a pretty good roster, right? That wasn't a dumpster fire. And the fact that he got Anthony Calandria to play the way he did last year after what was an extremely inconsistent up and down career at Virginia, where it included a lot of turnovers, a lot of frustration for the Virginia fan base. I was stunned when he took him. I was like, why is he taking this guy? And then he turned him into a consistent performer. If he can get that out of Jackson Arnold, I think he already has a returning roster that's pretty talented, but it wasn't as big of a rebuild. In fact, I don't even think it was a rebuild at all. I think it was add compliments to it. Dan Mullen's won a lot of football games everywhere he's been. And I think in this particular instance, he's at a place where he's relaxed. He's not dealing with fan base pressure. He's not dealing with frustrations of this, that, and the other. Man, he's out in the desert and he's coaching ball where not many people are paying attention, and he's got this team competitive, and I think he's having fun doing it, and he's relaxed.
Aside from the controversy around this, which is sizable, the DeQuan Wright return to LSU, if that indeed happens, what does he bring to LSU? Obviously, he played for Charlie Weiss Jr. and Lane Kiffin last year at Ole Miss before going to the Cleveland Browns and now back to LSU. What would he bring to that LSU offense?
Well, obviously there's familiarity there, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think you widen the line of scrimmage, which helps you out in the run game, gives you a target that you've got that you rely on, that you know exactly what he brings, and he's probably going to get a pay raise. I mean,
from Cleveland or from Ole Miss or both?
Yeah, both.
Both. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, practice squad guys make $250,000.
Yeah, no, it's a pay raise from both Oxford and Cleveland. Yes.
There's no secret why these guys they're doing. They're realizing what the real world's all about, and all of a sudden, if they got another year of eligibility, they might not make an NFL roster. You want to go get a real job, or you want to go file a lawsuit and try and play another year?
Luginbill, you will be in the booth for a lot of Big 12 action this year, and I do think the Big 12 has got underrated quarterbacks all over the place. Are you not?
I don't know. I'm at noon or 3:30 on ESPN too. I could be anywhere.
Okay.
But I hope I get a lot of Big 12.
Well, I was
agree
just
with what you're
talking
about say.
to your sideline reporter a couple of weeks ago, and she assumes you guys are going to be in a lot of Big 12 stadiums. We shall see.
could.
With that said, I do think the Big 12 is maybe the most underrated quarterback league this year. When you look at guys like Fafita and Bachmeier and Dampier and Will Hammond when he's healthy and Avery Johnson. But I was going to ask you, is the best of the bunch maybe Mestamaker coming in year one under Eric Morse at Oklahoma State?
You know, he clearly has been the most productive guy from last year to this year, returning, that you would say, okay, follow the coach, follow the scheme. You got to make the jump from the G5 to the Power 4 level of competition. And you're talking about the most transformative roster in all of college football. It's probably not even close. You know, it's like an expansion team of free agents. So I think that I think he's probably the list is up there with him. And you know, you just listed a lot of guys that are really, really good quarterbacks. I totally agree with what you're saying. I think the quarterback play in that league is going to be outstanding. You got Connor Wigman and Keeson Henderson, the true freshman down at Houston. I think Houston's a dark horse. Jaden Craig, who I love, coming from Harvard over to take over TCU. I think he's going to be one of the surprise players in all of college football. So if I get a lot of Big 12 teams, I'm going to be excited because I know I'm going to get good offensive football each and every week.
So we always talk a little television or film with you. Are you watching Furious right now on Hulu?
Yes, totally caught up, and I love it.
Okay. I don't know how they make Emmy Rossum look so bad.
Oh, God, she looks awful.
She looks awful. But outside of that, it's a really interesting, it was kind of a slow burn early, but it's found its way, and I think it's rounded into a really, really good show.
I totally agree with you. And the thing is, I'd never seen the gal that plays the villain. I've never seen her before.
Haven't either.
I didn't recognize her. She is fantastic. I love the whole concept behind it. It's a really good idea, and they're executing it well. So yeah, we're pretty up on there. Finished season 3, so I'll get ready to watch that again because that is the funniest show on streaming right now.
And I am a big Kyle Chandler fan. I'm not a comic book guy, but I've been watching Lanterns. I didn't know.
I'm not on episode 2 yet, but I did like episode 1.
Yeah.
I think it's got some legs.
Yeah. And look, he was even
True Detective like vibes, does it?
Yeah, but more with aliens.
Yeah.
But I guess that's we were talking last week. I didn't know the origin of Green Lantern, but
I don't either.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, it does, because it kind of comes off like it's not a superhero show because they're all dressed in normal street clothes. Nobody's wearing, at least in the first episode, nobody's wearing costumes. Nobody's, none of that stuff's emerged yet. So I like the first episode. Was the second one good?
Yeah, really good. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of Logan-like as far as like drinking, the adult language, things that you didn't necessarily, which is, very refreshing, I think.
No, I'm with you on that. My wife's big into documentaries right now. There's this gal on Instagram. She's called The Documentary Girl. And all she does is go on there and give little 35, 40-second snippets of documentaries. She's watched thousands of them. And I'm telling you, man,
does she show her feet?
What?
Does she show her feet?
So Dunaway prerequisite.
I am going to look this up.
It's not in my algorithm.
Oh my God, that's too good. But she's been fantastic. Everything she recommends has been fantastic. So we've been catching up on a lot of and I'm not generally a big documentary guy, except the best documentary I have ever seen. Have you guys seen The Dark Wizard on HBO Max?
No. I was going to watch it. That's like the mountain climber, right? Or extreme sport.
Bro, you are not going to believe this guy. It is the best. It's the best documentary, but I can't even believe this guy's human. Like, his brain is different than every other human on the planet. And I don't know what it is, but it pushes him to do things that we would not even let come into our mind.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy.
And then just because Dunaway brought up True Detective, I saw one of the best films that I have seen over the last 5 years, a 2014 Spanish film. I saw it on Thursday night and watched it again late Friday night. It was that good. It's subtitled. It's called Marshland, and it takes place in 1980. It was filmed in 2014 because when I watched it originally, I was like, they had to have copied True Detective Season 1 because it's got some of that element. And I looked, and they both basically came out at the same time in 2014, but really, really good.
Is it dubbed in English or just subtitles with spoken Spanish?
Yeah, spoken Spanish, subtitled English.
What's
Very,
it
very
on?
good. It is on Amazon Prime. I bought it. Yeah.
Marshland. Okay. And it's a movie. All right.
Oh, it's fantastic. Very good.
All right, ESPN's Tom Luginbill. See him all football season long. Follow him on social media at Tom Luginbill. Lukes, thank you very much. Have a wonderful week, and we can't wait to see you at a stadium nearby.
Well, how about Monday Morning Live?
Oh, and we can't wait to see you on our platform, Next Round Live. Monday Morning Live starts the Monday of...
next Monday.
No,
Labor Day.
Labor Day. We're starting on Labor Day. Yeah, sorry about that.
Because we work on Labor Day.
That's right.
As in labor.
And we labor on Labor Day. Labor Day.
That's
Labor Day. Monday Morning Live, 8 a.m. Central. Next Round Live YouTube platform. Next Round Live YouTube platform. Everywhere you get the Next Round, you will get Monday Morning Live. Thank you for the reminder. I'd forgotten Luginbill.
See you guys.
And Jim. Yeah. See ya. Thanks, Luke. Take care. ESPN's Tom Luginbill with us.
All right. When we come back on the Next Round, presented by Hard Rock Bet on Sport and State, back into a little college football camp news that's important, and just how crazy is Week 3 going to be? It became official yesterday. We get into Oxford, Mississippi, and God bless their police department. All that coming up on the Next Round, presented by Hard Rock Bet here on Sport and State. Back with you on the next round, presented by Hard Rock Bet here on Sport and State. A couple of college football camp notes coming up here in just a second. But Todd Gurley officially retired from football over the weekend.
Nick Chubb.
Can you believe it was Chubb that retired?
Yeah.
Okay, Nick Chubb retired. I thought it was Gurley that retired.
No.
Okay.
Yep.
But okay,
Gurley's been out.
Chubb retired. So Chubb, Sony Michel, Todd Gurley, all at Georgia at one time. Crazy running back room.
And that's the big question when you look at Georgia this year. Like, I think they're going to be, Nate Frazier was really good. They've got, 3 or 4 backs, but do they have the same skill that they used to have? Like, you don't see A.J. Greens anymore at Georgia. You don't see even a Ladd McConkey or a Brock Bowers.
I think if you look at this Georgia run game, you don't have to have Gurley, Michel, and Chubb because their offensive line is so good. To me, best offensive line in the SEC this year in Athens, Georgia.
I could see that.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It is just amazing, though. Kirby has made us kind of forget what Georgia used to be. They had all that in the same backfield, and that produced how many national championships at Georgia?
That was under Mark Richt,
who was a pretty good coach.
So he won how many?
That's 0.
Yeah.
Kirby has made us forget how many players they ran through there without winning a championship. How many really good players they ran through there.
Some more college football news after I remind you I'm the coffee drinker on the show, and Crockett Coffee is part of the new show here. It started by Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, and Buck's brother Mason. I haven't met Mason yet. Can't wait to meet him. They named it after Davy Crockett, the hunter, the storyteller, the patriot, the backwoods legend. The look of the logo is right there. It's Davy Crockett. You see it on the screen. Davy's surfing on the back of crocodiles in the logo.
Well,
if you don't know what that is.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. That just shows you this coffee means business. 100% pure Arabica, high-altitude beans, small batch roasted right here in America's heartland. It ships fresh roasted, not sitting on a warehouse shelf for 6 months. Light, medium, dark, decaffeinated, organic, even a mushroom blend, which I'm dying to try. Whole bean ground or in the K-Cups. However you make it in the morning, they've got it for you there at Crockett Coffee. Free shipping on orders of $59 or more. And there's a discount for veterans always when it comes to Crockett Coffee. And Crockett partners with Tunnels to Towers, building mortgage-free homes for the families of fallen service members and for those injured veterans and first responders. Good coffee, made in America, and also doing some good. CrockettCoffee.com. That's Crockett, CROCKETT, coffee.com, CrockettCoffee.com.
I don't want to pick this apart. Why is he not surfing on an alligator? Crocodiles really aren't indigenous to the United States.
Yeah, that was the problem I saw.
Yeah, because I don't think he ever came across a crocodile.
He's not surfing on an indigenous animal. He's surfing on a non-indigenous animal.
That just shows
it's like in Temple of Doom when the guy from the Kalima cult falls into the water. He gets eaten by a crocodile, but it is most definitely, clearly a Florida American alligator.
I think that normal coffee you could serve in the back of 2 rattlesnakes across a creek, but Crockett Coffee, you could even surf on alligator.
Okay.
Full alligator.
Yeah, worldwide.
Maybe a crocodile.
Okay, CBS, and this is a big picture thing here, but CBS ranked their Big 12 coaches. Texas Tech's Joey McGuire, with the best payroll in the Big 12, is ranked 3rd in the league.
Yeah.
Behind Kalani Sitake, who's, by the way, in his 11th year at BYU, and Willie Fritz of Houston. Is that a fair ranking of Joey McGuire?
Boy, I will tell you, as much as I talk about these quarterbacks, the coaches, massive question mark in the Big 12. Like, I agree, Sitake should be number 1 right there. I wouldn't have McGuire up there. He had one really good year last year. Before that, it was a couple of 7-6s.
But I was going to ask the question, how many of those Big 12 coaches have coached in a college football playoff?
Sonny Dykes has. He's played for a national championship.
Kenny Dillingham and Joey McGuire.
Yep.
I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
That's the only one. Sonny Dykes, Kenny Dillingham, and Joey McGuire, unless there's one my brain has blanked and I'm just missing on.
Last year it would have been Kyle Whittingham would have been number 1.
Ryan, is that the only, How much credit are we really giving Joey McGuire for coaching
None.
the play? I mean,
None.
because like
That's
Mark
kind of-
Helfrich coached Oregon to a national championship.
That's the
That's
point.
kind of the
That's
point why I
bring
brought it up.
here.
Is he
That's why I
doesn't
bring
get
it up.
he doesn't get credit for it.
I mean, I think 4 years ago it would have been Kyle Whittingham, probably at that point Mike Gundy and Matt Campbell. But there's been so much turnover in the Big 12, and now you look at the coaches. I mean, I don't know who all's got a stable situation. I think Arizona does. I guess Arizona State does. BYU definitely. Baylor could fire their coach this year. Cincinnati could fire their coach. Colorado could fire their coach.
This is going
Kansas could fire their coach.
I like the great Alabama song, which is called My Home's in Alabama.
Yeah.
I'm Southern born and Southern bred. This is going to hurt my heart. Power 4 conference coaches, Big 10, 1, SEC 2, then ACC or Big 12 third.
ACC would be third.
Well, hang on. Let's.
Yeah, because, I mean, look at this.
Do you agree?
Dabo,
Big 10 1,
yeah.
SEC 2?
Dabo, say what you – I mean, Dabo's Dabo. I think Brom is respected. Cristobal, just based on the run last year. Dave Duran has always been underrated. Bill Belichick, I know it hasn't been at Chapel Hill. I think Narduzzi's underrated. Rhett Lashley has done a great job there.
He at Georgia Tech's done a good job.
Tony Elliott.
What's the national perspective of James Franklin at this point?
I was about to bring up James Franklin.
Yeah, I think
Perfect spot for
I think
him.
it's positive.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, for sure ACC better than the Big 12. For sure.
So Big 10, SEC, ACC, Big 12.
Yeah.
ACC doesn't contend with the SEC, though.
No.
Because that's the off-season storyline knock on the SEC is maybe, and Kirby brought it up, is there, talking about the Big 10, Kirby Smart on our show back in the summer, he said, maybe their coaching is better than our coaching. And I think I jumped in, come on.
Oh, come on, Kirby. But you
that's what
started
Joel
there.
Klatt
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah, I know.
I think you can go on and say you've got 4 elite coaches in the SEC with other potentials. I don't know if you guys would agree with this. I think Kalen DeBoer, I know Alabama fans would laugh.
And I know they're going to say Lance is going to die on this mountain.
Kirby Smart. I hate to put Lane Kiffin in there, but I would put Kiffin, and then I would put Elko, and then Heupel, Sarkisian, Venables, Drink. I mean, you've got other coaches. Sumrall, year one, obviously Golish year one. So much upside for the SEC coaches.
There's potential for the SEC to pass the Big Ten again.
Yes, for sure.
It was there for a while, but the SEC could pass the Big Ten in coaching again.
Going to need some national championships to do it, though. I mean, Kirby can't be the only national championship guy you got, and the SEC pass him in coaching because you got multiple guys in the
But I think there's 6 other guys that could win one this year, and you wouldn't be shocked.
No. But again, one of the national championship guys left the Big Ten too in Harbaugh. He's in the NFL now, so you've really only got the 2 in Day and Cignetti. So somebody else is going to have to win one, but that could happen. To your point,
I mean, Oregon is favored by a lot of people. That would be one for Lanning. Lincoln Riley could have a special year. He's still looking for that first national championship. He could also get fired. Matt Campbell. In year one at Penn State, can do special things with that schedule.
And Daniel brings this up in the chat. And those of you that are new to the show, you can jump in that YouTube chat, and we try to get as many of those as we can on the show. It moves fast often. But he says Josh Pate is adamant that the Big Ten coaching is better because of the staffs, not necessarily the top guy, but the staffs. That's something I don't follow as closely. I'm not going to be able to tell you that.
Yeah, diving deep.
But I am curious if maybe Pate is just saying something he's been told by many people in the industry, right? That if you go top to bottom, the overall staffs are better in the Big Ten.
But I would give, the head coach credit for hiring a great staff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not disagreeing with Josh Pate. I would never do that.
You would never do that. Contractually, you're obligated to agree with.
I'm saying that one of the head coach's jobs is to hire a great coaching staff.
That's right.
So
Yeah. I'm not using it to discredit the head coaches there. I'm saying you look at it in totality,
just like they used to say, Nick Saban had the best roster, so of course he should have won.
Yeah,
one of the jobs of the head coach was to recruit a great roster.
If your coach isn't recruiting on that level, he's not doing as good a job as Nick Saban.
Yeah, and one of those assistants is now in the SEC, and Jim Knowles.
Would Smuff ask the question? He doesn't ask it, but I'm going to ask it. He says LT will never put Sark in any elite place. So I'll ask the question: is it win a national championship? Is that the only way?
This is almost Joey McGuire-like, though. I mean, Sark has had great jobs before at Washington and USC, and now he has done a better job at Texas. But losing 3 games last year with that talent, if they were to lose 3 games again this year, I think it is national championship or bust. I really do.
Forrester, if you can get me the Texas schedule I don't know if you have it sport and stated up yet or if you need that. Nope. Well, let's.
Real quick, do you guys agree with that, though? I mean, I know y'all like Sark, the guy, and it's been an incredible comeback story, and he is one of the best play callers in all of football, but he still has had elite jobs, and he's never won a championship.
The SEC is Shane Beamer's probably on the hottest seat going into the season, but I was on the Conor O'Gara show, and he said, what is your over-under on coaches that are fired in the SEC? And I said 1.5. And he said, that's the number I had. And I said, I would take the under. He said he would take the over. I would take the under. I think one coach gets fired. I don't know which one. Beamer, I for some reason, I think he survives this year. I think they have a good enough year at South Carolina. He survives. I think Levy has a good enough year. But those are, I think, the two you would look at.
Yeah, the only two, really. Like, I mean, Clark Lee is safe. Sark is safe. Elko's safe. Heupel's safe.
I don't know if Sark is safe. And that's what I brought up.
And that would be absolutely amazing if he got fired this year.
Well, if it was 8-4 and you have all that money and 9-3, they probably, because they played Ohio State, they'd still probably make the playoffs. But 8-4, you miss the playoffs. You've basically burned through the Manning years.
By the way, 9-3 last year with an Ohio State loss, and they didn't make it.
But Ohio State.
But you're right. You've wasted Manning if he's that good.
Ohio State at home, Tennessee on the road, Oklahoma and Red River, Florida at home, Ole Miss at home, LSU on the road, A&M on the road. 7 games. If you've somehow lost 4 of those, then if you're the money people at Texas, they at some point, one of those guys with their big cigar is going to be say, what are we paying all this money to this guy for?
You're right about that. And let me give you another I guess, twist to that.
Did they pull a baseball and go after Elko?
And the other twist to that was, what if on top of that, A&M and Texas Tech are in the playoffs? And now I'm a Texas booster, big money booster. I'm like, we gave him the best roster. Our main rival is in the playoffs.
Yeah.
A&M, Texas Tech,
and Houston or TCU. SMU and Houston you could have 4, really.
You want to make it even worse? Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
Their big rival. Let Oklahoma get in that somehow, and Texas is the one left out.
Because you don't get to 8-4 unless you lose to Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's lay it out again. Okay, so we have A&M there.
Yeah.
You have Oklahoma there.
Oklahoma.
Texas Tech.
SMU.
That's
not that crazy.
Yeah.
And then either TCU or Houston. I mean, right now we're saying Texas Tech is at 12.
Two Big 12.
Well, I'm just saying one of the two.
Yeah, I won't go that far. Well, you've already got Texas Tech in. You're not going to get Big 12.
You're right.
I won't go that far, but it's not insane to say Texas A&M, Texas Tech, SMU, and Oklahoma are all in the playoffs, and Texas is not. That is not the most insane thing you could say on this show. We've said a lot more insane things.
Most people watching are like, oh, Kalen DeBoer is on a bigger hot seat than Steve Sarkisian. I don't think Kalen DeBoer is on a hot seat. With that $87 million contract, Ryan Grubb's on a hot seat, the Alabama OC. I don't think Kalen DeBoer is on a hot seat. I don't think it would take a
6-6.
Yeah, disastrous 6-6 Birmingham Bowl appearance for him. To lose his job.
6-6 for Bama this year would be 8-4 for Texas, and then I do think everything's on the table. But back to your original conversation with Connor, I would play the under 1.5. It's hard for 16 guys to survive with the high stakes and the money they're getting paid right now. And I lean that Beamer would be that guy based on schedule and based on where they were last year. I do think they'll be improved, but I would definitely go under the 1.5. I would be really surprised if you have multiple guys lose their job.
I agree. You can make that kind of bet to find folks at Hard Rock Bet. They bring you all of the sport and state here, including the next round there. When we come back, it's weird to see Cleveland Brown cut player going to LSU, Buccaneer cut player possibly going to LSU. It's not a done deal yet, but some coaches were sounding off. We'll talk about that coming up right here on the next round, right here on Sport and State. Don't forget, week 0 starts this weekend. North Carolina TCU, 11 a.m. Central on ESPN. NC State, Virginia, 2:30 Central on ESPN. Memphis, UNLV, 9 Central on Fox. That's 3 pretty good games. And the best game of the day may be a little Jack State, North Dakota State, 4:30 CBS Sports Network. Hey, if you ever need legal issues or have legal issues, our buddy Clay Travis can help you out.
Always told us he was an attorney.
That's right.
In fact, he is. Accidents don't wait for a good time. One bad moment, a wreck, fall, doctor who wasn't paying attention, and suddenly you're fighting an insurance company that does this every single day. That's why Clay started the Clay Travis Law, built a firm around one idea. People deserve someone willing to pay attention, ask the hard questions, and push back when things don't add up. Experienced trial attorneys who bring the fight to corporations and insurers, based in Nashville, trusted across the country. They lead negotiations with honesty, determination, and Southern grit. The case evaluation is free, no charge, no pressure, no hassle. Just tell them your story. Go to claytravislaw.com. That's claytravislaw.com, or call 877-222-4444. That's claytravislaw.com, 877-222-4444. No case is too big or too small for our man, Clay Travis.
It's not official yet, but Daquan Wright looks like he could be on the way from being cut with the Cleveland Browns to going to play with LSU again this season. Still being battled out in courts and on the airwaves of shows like ours all over America. Here is Cleveland Browns head coach Todd Monken on one of his players warming up despite being in the NCAA transfer portal while playing for the Cleveland Browns.
How you've been handling the Daquan Wright situation just seems weird, right? It seems like he's in the college transfer portal. He hadn't practiced, but then I saw him warming up after the rain delay today.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, as far as I know, he's had a medical issue that wasn't allowing him to practice. That's a medical, issue. It's nothing to do with me, and then, and then he was cleared. So we dressed him just in case we had to have him. But I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I wondered why Lane Kiffin reached out a week ago. Now I know. I mean, shit, I didn't know. Now I know. I didn't call him back. Now I guess I should have.
I love the fact that he ghosts Lane.
Yeah, I didn't call him back.
Doesn't call him back.
Yeah.
This is a wild situation. And Daquan Wright, really good player last year in this Ole Miss offense. We've got Grumpy Greg, we got Greedy Greg, we had Giddy Greg, talking about Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, up until this probably comes out, and he's just like, damn, Lane's done this again. I know there was an injunction filed. He's got to clear waivers first, but there is no way Sankey doesn't push back on this.
Well, I mean, the pushback for Sankey is an internal SEC rule that you cannot transfer from one SEC school to another, even legally in the portal. This would technically be that because of the last college he played for.
It has to be.
So that's where Sankey, that's legislation they all agreed to and voted on. So that's where he's got to go to bat and protect the other 15 schools because all 16 schools voted on that and it passed. So he's going to have to battle that. This is why, Andrew Brandt, who covered the NFL, he's in the media world now, but he worked in the NFL for a long time. He says, I have talked to multiple NFL front office people that say players are coming to them saying, can you go ahead and cut me?
Yeah, so I can get back.
So I can get back in the portal before the season starts. They know they're going to get cut anyway.
I know this is a business now with the money these guys are making. But there was a time where it meant something for your guys to be able to, your 100 or your 85 scholarship guys and your 100-plus guys that were busting their ass in the spring and the summer, and they earned a spot on that roster. If Daquan Wright gets cleared and he is playing for LSU, I would assume you've got to get somebody off that roster that has been busting their ass.
Well, I'll use Ole Miss baseball as an example. They lost, I can't remember, I know one of them is their first baseman. My buddy Johnny was telling me about this on the golf course, and maybe their third baseman. And both of them went into the draft. Or no, they were out of eligibility because of the 4 years. They passed this 5-5, and now because of this injunction, they're coming back to school. Well, they had paid this money to get this stud first baseman who was this big hitter, and a third baseman to come play for Ole Miss this year. And now you've got your two guys who are coming back from last year coming back on the team. And these two guys, now they're getting paid, but they came thinking they were going to be starting at Ole Miss.
Well, this complicates everything because Ole Miss has only got so much money they can pay in NIL for baseball.
Yep.
And now you got 4 different guys you got to pay.
Ultimately, Dan Lanning is the first of what every coach should be doing, because I know it's going to help Lane and Ole Miss and whoever else tries to get these kind of players. But ultimately, Dan Lanning's a national championship contender. This is what he believes.
Your thoughts just on guys coming from the NFL back to college? I know you guys aren't really interested in the 5-for-5, but just the state of college athletics right now from every sport just seems like who's eligible. You don't really know. What's your feelings on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of negatives that are involved around this. One, once you go to the NFL, to me, you're in the NFL. You don't get the opportunity to come back. 2, most of us have built our rosters, and you have a limited roster limit now. So if you invited somebody back to your team, that means you're kicking somebody else off your team, right, to match your roster limits. I don't think that's fair to the players that worked all summer, all spring, and put themselves in position to be ready to work for a team. To have somebody come back. But ultimately, it used to be once you had an agent or once you went and did the combine or once you went to all those things qualified as you are no longer an amateur, you're a professional now once you declare for the draft. So to let any of those players come back, fair or unfair to them, it's unfair to the sport. And I think it's unfair to the players that are on current teams, for those guys to be coming back.
I do think that it's a little unique that now we got 5-5. This year should clear it up, though, right? Like after this year, I mean, it is pretty set in stone. 5 years, or 5 years of eligibility in 5 years.
Until some guy goes back and sues and says, I only got 4 years. And what does the court do then? I don't, courts do anything now, and that's the whole thing about this. I don't know.
And I assume that's 5-5 now, where even if I blow out my knee like some guys have, in camp, I'm not going to play the whole year. If I'm out of my 5, I'm out of my 5. It's just tough break.
Back to the start of our show, we were talking about Austin Mack not getting the Bama starting job, and someone in the chat said, Austin Mack is a senior, but I don't even know what that means anymore.
Yeah, he's got a year.
He's got a year. He's only 4 years.
I know, but you understand what they're saying. Yeah. He's a senior. I don't even know what that means anymore. Yeah. Whether he's got another year or not, just because a guy's a senior, just because a guy's a junior, it really means nothing anymore. And as Dan Lanning says, but now do you guys honestly believe, let's play this out. Dante Moore went to the NFL, didn't get drafted where he thought he was going to, has struggled a little bit in preseason, is like, I needed another year at Oregon. And he goes back, Lanning would say, nah, we're good.
Oh, no.
I do. I believe
you believe that.
I believe Dan Lanning's a man of his word.
He would be starting.
If Raiola is blowing up,
starting, but Raiola.
If not, I go with you, Brown. I think Dante Moore would be back, and he would, hey, look, this is unique.
Boy, that would be the test of his stance right there. If that had happened, now obviously that's a huge what if.
Or if he says, hey, we can't have the competitive advantage, like everybody's got a competitive advantage over us because everybody else is doing it. Now we had the opportunity to do it. I don't like it, but it's the way it is.
I mean, Landmine Believer is right now. He's a Bama guy. But, boy, the outrage over Bediako seems small potatoes now compared to this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, when we come back, final thoughts. Game day is going to be at the Lane Kiffin show. LSU Ole Miss. It's not the only superstar that's going to be there that weekend. God bless the Oxford Police Department. When we come back on TNR, presented by Hard Rock Bet on Sport and State. All right, final part of our Sport and State Hard Rock Bet next round version of day one here on the platform officially. We tested some of it last week. And for those that will be with us on the next round for 2 more hours, Brownie, how do they find us?
Set your alerts. Next Round Live, we'll send out a new link. There will be a new show link on YouTube. Those of you watching us on YouTube and any other streaming platform, there will be a new show link. So watch your alerts for that new show link. It'll come just mere moments after we sign off here on Sport and State. In just a few minutes, there'll be a new link. So keep your eyes out for that new link. Always set your alerts and subscribe at Next Round Live.
College Game Day made it official over the weekend. They will be in Oxford, Mississippi, Week 3. No surprise. Nick Saban's been talking about it openly since SEC Media Days. LSU at Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin's return. Did you know Thursday night, before the circus rolls into town, Ella Langley is choosing Texas in Oxford, Mississippi.
Wow,
that night.
She doing the Pavilion?
I
think so. She's doing an arena tour because she's at Neville in Auburn.
So Ella Langley on Thursday, and the circus on Friday and Saturday for LSU Ole Miss weekend. I don't know how big the Oxford Police Department is, but God bless them.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be like, you have got to be kidding. Now, game day is coming in. I guess they already knew this before.
Yeah, I think they had planned on game day, but then, I mean, they'll be exhausted. You got to do traffic and security for traffic for Ella Langley, traffic for game day, traffic for the freaking game, and security. I mean, my Lord.
You guys have been there since I've been there because y'all went, the back-to-back years, I guess, Hugh Freeze beat Nick Saban. I haven't been to Oxford in probably 20 years, but I thought the infrastructure was kind of weak back then. Like a lot of SEC towns, they didn't have the hotels. The Grove was way too much. I would assume.
I think I was there, and people who are watching in Mississippi, let me know. I think I was there. I can't remember if you were with me or not. Katy Perry weekend. Were you with me, Brownie?
I did not go to that one,
Okay.
no.
I was there Katy Perry weekend when Katy Perry was on game day. And they basically had the National Guard set checkpoints up, and there were so many people in town you couldn't go inside the perimeter of downtown Oxford because the streets were too crowded. So you had to pass a checkpoint of National Guard people just to go to downtown. I think that's the most crowded Oxford, Mississippi has ever been until this weekend. Week 3.
Do you think somebody would trade a front row seat to Ella Langley for a nosebleed to LSU Ole Miss?
Yes.
I mean, because get-ins are $600.
For Ella Langley or LSU Ole Miss?
For LSU Ole Miss.
Oh, is that it?
That's a low get-in.
That's a get-in.
Yeah, but
that's
600
low for this game.
I mean, I would have thought over 1,000.
Wow.
Listen, I'm bad
This is the biggest game in Oxford. Probably since the one Jim was talking about. I could be off on that one.
Yeah, probably, but still 600 for a get-in is pretty steep.
I bet Brooks remembers this. Maybe Forrester. Who was the quarterback that she sort of flirted with?
Trevor Knight.
Trevor Knight. Lance got it.
Yeah, she shouted him out during game day, right?
She had no idea who he was.
She did. She did the call me.
Yeah.
I think she did that. Trevor, call me.
Yeah, when she was making her picks, she had corn dogs, too, when she was making an LSU pick.
Yeah, remember, she did a damn stage dive from whatever bar she was in.
Yeah, after the game that night.
After the game. And she stayed for the game. I mean, she was in the stands and on the sidelines for the game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure somebody's got a story.
And that was a field rush, right? That was a field rush game.
Of course it was. It was a Nick Saban loss. They all came with a field rush.
Then they stood. Not just Nick Saban, it's Alabama in general.
Yeah, but the Saban era was one field rush. Well, it wasn't one after another because they rarely lost, but they all came with a field rush.
I don't want to say this will be the most amazing, scene or atmosphere we've seen in the history of college football. It's going to be tough to top 2011 in Tuscaloosa. 2011, 2019, LSU, Alabama, both of those. I was at both. Those were crazy. I don't know how you could have more than what you had.
Now,
with
I
those.
would not rule out President Trump also being there, but President Trump was at one of those, which anytime the president comes in.
He's not showing up in Oxford.
Oh, That guy loves going to sporting events.
I know he does.
And this
I
is
mean,
gonna
if
be-
it's the biggest game of the season, all the more reason for him to show up.
I don't know that it is the biggest game of the season. It's going to be one of the most anticipated.
All right, biggest SEC matchup
yeah,
of the
maybe
season.
so. I didn't mean to. I mean, could end up being the biggest game. It's just
It'll be the biggest circus by
the
far.
biggest circus for sure, and maybe that'll drag him in too.
Yeah, that is the one thing the Oxford Police Department said. Please
Oh
no.
my gosh.
There was an estimated 150,000 people on campus in Tuscaloosa for the game of the century in 2011.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think this will exceed that?
Yes, and I'm with Lance. We don't talk about it enough. There may have been just as many people there for 2019 Alabama LSU,
I think there was.
including the president.
Yeah. It gets forgotten how big that one was because it doesn't get called the game of the century like 2011 did.
Right.
But yes, to Brooks's question, I think Oxford, Mississippi will hit critical mass. There'll be more people than the city can handle by a bunch that day.
Well, and what's crazy about that is, Bryant Denny seats 100,000. So there was maybe 50,000 outside the stadium.
Yeah.
I think your number's low. I think there's 150,000 outside the stadium.
We'll never know.
Maybe there was, but my point being, there's only 60-some thousand seats in
That's right.
Hemingway.
Much
so
smaller.
If
That's
there's
why I
that
thought
many
the-
people there,
yeah.
how many are going to be outside the stadium?
That's why I thought the ticket would be higher.
Final 30 minutes of the show here. Missouri's Ahmad Hardy looks like he's coming back mid-September, according to Drink.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's good news that Missouri should be able to get him at 100%. I'm trying to remember Missouri's early schedule. Like, what games will he miss?
Some meaningful games, but not the heart of the schedule. SMU is getting Kevin Jennings back to practice. He's been battling a jammed finger. He should get 2 weeks of prep, according to Rhett Lashley, and be able to go in the Labor Day night's opener, SMU at Florida State, in the new rebuilt Doak on a Monday night. That's the next round presented by Hard Rock Bet on Sport and State. New link coming your way for 2 more hours of the next round.